Hello, my Hope More family. I am so excited to be here with you today to talk about Hour of the Wolf, a stage play written by a native of Perry, or like I like to call him NOP, Anthony Lamarr White. Anthony is a native of Perry, Florida, and has been writing since he was a child, believe it or not. He's written it for plays and publications all over the country, especially in Atlanta, Gainesville, Florida, and our own hometown, Perry, Florida. He contributes as a columnist to our local newspaper. So I was excited that in this season, which is actually our 10th year as Hope More, we are going to start highlighting greatness homegrown here in Perry, Florida, as well as natives, because we've been through a lot. We've been through a lot. We've been through hurricanes, meal closings, major employers leaving our small rural community in North Florida, Big Bend area. But we are still not only have the possibility of surviving and thriving, we are born for it. So Perry Possible is our little nomenclature for this moment here on Hope More. And I just wanted to let you know that this, our 10th year, we're trying a lot of different segments. And so Hope More itself is a broad brand name for Hope More Innovations Media Cubed. And literally the shows I've been doing, I've been calling almost all of them Hope More, but really Hope More Innovations Media Cubed is a overarching brand for media ministry missions. So that's why it's cubed, because we have a lot of M's. And so I'm excited because this show, hopefully Perry's Pride, the segment, will help encourage those who may think that just because we're a small town that greatness doesn't come from us. Are you kidding? Greatness is in our DNA. Greatness is in our DNA. So today we're going to be talking to the cast of Hour of the Wolf, this stage play by Anthony Lamarr White. And Anthony is actually not seen but in the pictures here. He really wanted his art to speak for him. But listen, Hour of the Wolf is a thriller stage play that's playing right now, the weekend of the 21st here in North Florida, in Crawfordville, Florida, just a little bit of an hour away from Perry, Florida. You should get your tickets today. They were sold out for the Thursday show on the 19th, and on the 20th, they have a show at 8 o'clock. And on the Saturday, the 21st, September 21st, they have a 2 p.m. showing and an 8 p.m. showing. It's only $15, guys. So you go tonight. I think I'm going again. I got to have a sneak peek during the rehearsal and to interview the cast. Oh my gosh, who are so amazing. Let me tell you where this play is happening. It's happening at the Polyvere Tree Theater in Crawfordville, Georgia. And the owner of Polyvere Tree Theater is the director of this play, Herb Donaldson. And he was going to be the first to speak in our cast interview. I mean, I got so caught up in the story about the history of the Polyvere Theater, that Polyvere Tree Theater, that I almost forgot the norm, which is to ask every cast member their name. But you sit back and hear from this great cast that have been brought together by Perry's own native son, Anthony Lamarr White. Okay, well, he's about to share. Let me see. You know what? We believe in Hope's Law, not Murphy's Law. So while I'm getting up, you can see this is a very, very handsome cast. And we are excited because, just to give you a little background of the Hour of the Wolf, this is a thriller. Literally, I was jumping in and out of my seat. So you may want to stay close to the restroom, ladies, if you have a little challenge with the keeping it all together when you get excited, if you know what I mean. But after serving 30 years in prison, a killer who has never spoken out has now desired to speak out and share the reasons for his particular crimes. And he wanted to tell his history to a TV reporter on a live broadcast. What could possibly go wrong? So that is the setting. And what you see now is the group sitting on the stage there, and we are literally just waiting to not only show off the exciting stuff that they were doing in the play, but you're on the Raymond DeVille show stage, which is the talk show host who starred in who is starred by the wonderful DeGarian. But he's about to introduce himself, and so now I'm going to let him go. I may have the audio off. I may try again. Let me see. Great job. You do a great job. So I'm going to start off, and I'm going to stop looking at the camera and just talk to you. I want to start. Okay, let's try this again. I'm just rewinding a little bit so you don't miss anything. Okay, here you go. Hour of the everybody go oh 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 oh. All right. So thankfully that didn't play because I think that was actually the wrong slide. So we're gonna first hear from Mr. Donaldson, who's going to be explaining a little bit about the history of the Palavere Tree Theater. And just I'm gonna let you in on a little secret that this will be their last time, or this is the last show of the last season of Palavere Tree Theater. So you guys have to get your ticket and go out and support because we're really sad to see it go. Palavere Theater, am I saying that right? Palavere, Palavere, Palavere. Of the Palavere Theater. Am I saying that right? Palavere. Palavere. Palavere Tree Theater. And what inspired that name?
Inspired the name. Um, it's said that in Africa, whenever people in the village need to meet or have a talk, they gather under the shade of the largest tree in the village. And whenever they don't feel they can speak for themselves or articulate what it is that they want to say, they use a griot, a musician, a poet. In essence, they use artists to tell their stories. My grandfather was known as the Black Mayor of Waukegan County. He owned his own town called Buckhorn, which is just outside of Shopee. And there, outside of the cafe, was a huge oak tree that he built a wooden table around and seating around. People would meet there for dates. They'd have fish fries there. If somebody was running for office, they'd do a speech from the tree right there. So that African history, coupled with my personal history of my grandfather, is why we call it the Power Tree Theater.
What a wonderful history. Well, I did a major faux pas. I didn't let everyone introduce themselves to our audience. You see these beautiful smiling faces. Don't be fooled. Come and watch the play. You'll see a little bit different side of them. So you know what? If you would, Mr. Donaldson or Herb, I try to give respect to the director at all times in case you're casting for something later. Could you pass the mic to your left or right? And if you could give us your name and the character you're playing.
Hi, I'm D. Selmore, and I'm playing Brooke Lawrence.
Hi, I'm Champion Black, and I play Max.
I'm Malcolm Hughes. I'm playing Simon Morrison.
I'm Carol McKay, and I play Dr. Jordan Walker. I'm Jamia B.M. Wright, and I played Camille Bridgewater.
Hello, my name is DeGarian Andrews, and I play Raymond DeVille.
My name's Alfonso Guerra, and I play security.
And you do a great job. You do a great job. So I'm going to start off, and I'm going to stop looking at the camera and just talk to you. I want to start off with Mr. The character Raymond DeVille. And if you can give the mic back to him. Okay, so we're now on what is the set of your show as a character in this play. Could you tell me a little bit about who your character is?
Raymond DeVille is a talk show host on the brink of to a gallery owner. He is best friends with his show producer, and he's a guy that we see him at the beginning, at the top of the show, and it's like he's beginning to discover his scruples. He's having a hard time with the nature of the show and the direction he's going in. So he has that compounded with his marriage. He's getting ready to get married, and then just his relationship with his best friend has been strained. So he's dealing with all of that while the eyes of America are on him. So he has a lot going on, and he has to put on this mask it with a facade for America because that's what he does.
That's his job to have the facade or to give the people what they want. Just siding or pushing something too far. Would you agree that that's a part of the theme?
I would agree. And a major thing is the price we pay for fame. And it also could be an admonition for greed and the price we pay for the things we want. So yeah, I would agree. I think his producer pushes him to some places that most people probably wouldn't dare to go for ratings or viewership. So I think that's a valid statement.
Our persona is upbeat as most talk show hosts are, but you really do sort of show this internal turmoil. And I was wondering, is there any personal experience or research even that you did to sort of tap into that? I think you did a really great job on that.
Thank you. There was a lot of research. I watched a lot of Montel Williams.
I thought I heard Montel in there.
I watched a lot of Michael Strahan, just a lot of male television hosts. And I always tell people from 2008 until 2013, I feel like I led 8 lives because during that time I left Tallahassee, I moved to California. I came back to Florida when my parents got sick. My mom passed away. So I feel like I've lived so many lives since then. So there's a lot I can draw from. But to be completely honest, it's really great direction. Herb gave me a note at the top of rehearsal. He said, this is what I want. This is the journey that I want the character to go on. So I really tried to find the nuance and the ebbs and flows of his journey. So it came from great direction.
His fiance, right, Camille. I only because I overheard and I'm sorry, I'm taking a blank on your name. DeGarian. I heard DeGarian mention wife. So I assume you're not his actual wife in real life. How is it playing like the love interest? And I don't know if you're married. How is it playing a love interest as a character in a play that has to show affection, just even looking at your face when certain scenes were happening with him? Oh. That's another follow-up, but I know I don't have all the time in the world. You guys probably have to work in the morning. But how was it? I just got some inside information. But how was it playing the lead character's Beyonce and I'm showing affection? Was that a comfortable thing for you? There's some aspects that were more difficult.
Yeah, it was very comfortable. I'm very professional. The Gary is very awesome to work with. This was my first time on stage, playing like a love interest. I'm always cast as the mom.
Oh, okay.
So, it was very different, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah,
And a little birdie told me that there may be a relationship actually with you have with someone who's also in the cast, and we don't even have to point him out unless you want to, or her. Did that in any way factor how you sort of engaged as a love interest? Like I said, if you want to share, you don't have to share.
Oh, yeah, so this is my boyfriend Champion flag over here. I thought was his headshot. And I'm like, oh shoot, that's so official. I'm like, oh my god, this is like real deal, like experienced actors. So I knew this time was the right time for us to get together and do this. And it has been a blessing this whole time.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Shared so boldly, like I wanted that position. And it was originally the way it was written. It was a male role. So I just wanted to know: did you find it at all difficult having to sort of bring a female voice to it, or did that even make a difference in your
No.
your
And
choices?
actually, you're not the only one who has asked that. It's just so well written that it I would have not had a problem with it one way or the other. The character itself really is just there to warn the others of what might happen. And I also had started out at Monticello Opera House, and they couldn't find a man to play Dr. Walker, so they said, Carol, can you help us? And I said, yes. And then to come to find out that it's going to be here at Caliber, where I've been in a number of plays before, Herb, I love Herb, and any opportunity I get to work with Herb Donaldson to me is a dream come true. So when I found out it was going to be here, I approached Herb and said, please, can I play Dr. Walker? And I was fortunate enough that Anthony said, sure, let's go ahead and have you play this as well. So I got very fortunate.
Well, I think you did a great job of my role. I mean, the role. Well, you have people who want to join this play just to work with you. I had the pleasure of working with you once through a read through of another Anthony Lamarr White play. So I just wanted to ask, you're playing the best friend slash producer, correct? So what, if any, experience did you bring to this particular role?
I'm producing some things now, so I pull on that a lot. Learning. I am in the process of learning how to. I need this and I need it done now. I need this and I need your money now. I need this, that kind of thing. So I tried to pull that into it and then bring some of my Aries energy to it as well.
Oh, well,
It's the way it's written. It was very easy.
you're very fun to look at.
Well, thank you.
You're very, very fun to look at. I'm like, but you don't pull attention away from the main speaker. I think actually both you and I'm sorry, I remember your stage names more than your actual names, but Camille, I thought you did a great job. Like if I glanced over, I'm like, ooh, wait a minute, I like that face. But it really wasn't pulling from the main action on the stage. And I was yeah.
The first time people paid money to see was 2000.
Okay.
In 2000, right at TCC, in Schoolhouse Rock, and I got to sing 30 songs, and I was hooked and running off and running ever since. And when these two gentlemen, this gentleman took me my first trip ever to the National Black Theater Festival for a very, very special um, uh, performance. For a very, very special performance, and I have always been eternally grateful for that. This gentleman took me the second time and got an opportunity to perform. So when I found out they were working together, yeah, I'm coming.
Double magic. Could you share what value you find, if any, in like local theater?
This is where I started. This is in Tallahassee. Tallahassee's been beautiful to me. The Crawfordville area, Monticello, Wakulla. My mom is from Jefferson County. I've been coming to Lamont, Perry all my life, so this area is home. And what I was given from people here, I like to do that for other people now that I'm in a position to do for others. I like to do that. So anytime that I can, it's home, and I feel like I feel like I can.
Too much of what the show is about, but You were playing opposite the main character, and you were the bossy best friend producer. Would you describe your character as like a villain, or or like a frenemy, or even just like, maybe even a good guy? How would you describe your character when it comes to like your role in this story?
I'm kind of Killmonger.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Killmonger. If you didn't catch that, sorry the audio didn't work out as well as I'd hoped. But her character, who's the best friend to the talk show host, she says she's more like a Killmonger. You have to go check out the play. It is going on tonight, guys. So you got a few hours, and if you see this tonight, you have tomorrow. You have tonight at 8 o'clock, Friday, September 20th. You have Saturday, September 21st. They have a 2 o'clock show and an 8 o'clock show, and it's only $15. I'm so trying to go tonight and take some people with me. If I can go every night, every time slot, I would. That's how good this is. And I'm not just saying this because he's from Perry or that he's a personal friend of mine. I'm saying this because he's excellent, guys. I've been at the theaters in Atlanta where he's won awards with the regional theater there, and different things. He's amazing, and he's right here from Perry, Florida. And I just love that greatness is reflected in what he does, and you can tell from the cast that he's inspiring their particular roles. You saw from the woman playing Dr. Walker, which is a part I wanted to play. For those of you who don't know that, I also like to act. She I couldn't capture as much of her interview as I wanted. And actually, even Champion, who was pointed out as one of the real life love of the woman who's playing Camille, the love interest of the talk show host. So it's all kinds of stuff going on. And Champion played a production assistant, and we won't be able to hear from Alfonso. We had a lot of interesting quip. Alfonso plays a security guard, as you noted in the beginning of the video. He actually was a part of the team. He was helping with sets and things of that nature, and he got commandeered into playing a security guard. And I think he steals a couple of scenes, so check him out. Now, listen, I am so excited and wanting to hurry up and make sure you guys got a sneak peek at the cast, and I'm trying to convince. It is like a little after 5, and I want to be there tonight. Would you come and join me? And so, as a part of that furtherance, I'm going to go to the part of our interview with the cast that was also a joy, because another native of Perry, another NOP, another native of Perry was actually there. He is actually one of the major 2 stars. There's a talk show host, and then I shared with you someone who'd been in jail for 30 years who wants to tell his story. That's played by our very own Malcolm Hughes, native of Perry, Florida. Big family. Our families actually have some interesting history that you'll find out about. And I wanted to make sure that, come here close, if you're from Perry, Florida, and you have a dream and you think you can accomplish it in a small, rural, North Florida, Big Bend area town, I want you to stop thinking that way. Everything is possible. Everything is possible. And I believe everything is possible through Christ Jesus. So as long as wherever I am exists, and anything I'm attached to, I believe we have possibilities together. So I want you to check out this clip from my interview of Malcolm Hughes, one of the co-stars of Hour of the Wolf, and also a native of Perry, Florida. You may recognize him also because he's been a background actor as well as has been a co-star in movies from Hollywood to New York. Yep. He's been a background actor for Denzel Washington. And when you see him, you'll probably see why. If you've never seen him in action, he looks a lot like Denzel. So to see him basically as a part of this thriller, being his character, is a little weird, then you'll see. She got married. My mother was the maid of honor and help her plan her wedding. And I didn't know that until a few years ago.
1966, September 4th.
Look at you. And
Let
he
me start that again.
Mr. Hughes's mom, when she got married, my mother was the maid of honor and help her plan her wedding. And I didn't know that until a few years ago.
1966, September 4th.
Oh my.
Look at you. And he has a large family, so for him to remember that is really great. But I was like, I didn't know our families were that intricately twined like that. But we have really big families, the both of us. Yours more nuclear big than mine.
Yeah.
Um,
12, your father is 12, right?
12 boys.
Boys, dirty dozen.
Yep.
Right?
Well, we would call them the 12, like the 12 disciples, but also the dirty dozen. Also the dirty dozen, but a lot of, yeah, yeah,
It was 12 of us as well.
yeah, yeah, big, beautiful family. So, okay. Mr. Hughes, Malcolm. So you play, how would you describe your character? Let me ask
He
that.
has a dual personality because he's dealing with psychosis, um, mental illness, and he's determined based on what he's dealing with. He was involved, of course, with triple homicide at some point some years ago, and he's determined to meet Raymond with Bill.
Yeah.
And of course, he's dealing again, like I said, with mental illness, so he's hell bent on meeting Raymond.
Well, I really did love a lot. I did really like a lot of your choices, and I guess there's some really popular movies out now. I'm not going to watch this, but Deliverance and just I'm not watching that one. But there were some moments where you were scaring me, and I'm like, I know who you are. You had some of your choices. So what experience, if any, did you pull to like become this person with some psychosis issues and stuff? I mean, I don't know, living with 12 other or being one of 12 siblings is probably enough.
Well, they say insanity and mental illness is hereditary. I think I caught it from my boys raising them.
That's true. You, as a parent, you have developed a number of looks that scares anybody in your eyesight. Even though I'm not one, but
I watched a little bit of Silence of the Lamb. I watched a little bit of Sling Blade and Long Legs. But I have to give a lot of credit to Herb Johnson.
director extraordinaire.
There's so many nuances and things that he's taught me. If he's noticed, I've been sitting there just soaking it up and listening because I've never dealt with a director. I've dealt with directors before, but with the level of intensity and efficiency that he has in the way he observed key details, attention to details, it just means one little nuance of change, it changes everything. And he say, how would you do it this way? And you just say, that makes sense. So I want to give him a lot of credit. He's doing an outstanding job, and I think it was written very well by Anthony White.
Yes, our homeboy. One of Perry's finest, proof that greatness is possible from 32347 zip code. It was interesting because when I was watching you, the first part you came out, you reminded me more of like a film actor than a stage, because so many times stage is right bigger. But I just loved it. I love what the director helped you decide to do. And it was also just interesting hearing and seeing the transformation. We don't know each other super well, even though our families have a lot of connection. So I didn't know what to expect, because I'm always like, well, no, doesn't he play background for like Denzel Washington? So I expected you to come out like, like Denzel, part of one of a franchise or something. So as I said, and thank you all for your patience. I don't know what time you normally wrap, and if you got to do it again, because this is opening and closing weekend. But I wanted to particular feature this season different things that really have been hatched by people and created by people from Perry, Florida, a very small town that is already limited in population. I think we've been 9,000 for a while, and now with the closing of a plant and being hit by Hurricane Idalia, is even fewer people. And our families, like any families, has had you recently lost an uncle. We've had tragedies and things of that nature. What, if anything, could you say to that new little Malcolm somewhere who's like, he's interested in acting, he lives in Perry, Florida, he may not readily see a vehicle to take him to a place where he can see himself actually doing what he's interested in? What type of encouragement could you give that person?
Well, I would say anything is possible. Information is important. Education, information is power, and you can do anything. And I say that growing up, I never saw myself doing some of the things that I've done and are doing. You mentioned about the closing of a plant there in Perry. Well, I worked there 27 years. I didn't know if you knew that.
No, I did. No, I
Because of
didn't.
good investments, when it shut down, I'm retired now. And at a relatively young age, I never saw myself in that situation thinking, well, at 55 years old, I'll be retired. I'm 56 now. Just turned 56 a month ago.
Baby.
But anyway, I would just say that believe in yourself and know that if you have anything that you want to pursue it with some level of passion and aggression and intelligence, and you can ascend to great heights.
All right, I love it. Passion and intelligence. And even though you didn't think that there would be opportunities that you actually did experience, you never gave up.
Exactly.
And I love the fact, I didn't know that you worked at that place for 20, how many years?
27 years, 7 months, exactly.
And while you were doing that, you also were going off to do theater and films and things. So you don't mean you don't have to pack up all your wares and go to New York and camp out like.
The beautiful thing about it, I was telling somebody recently, I was in the movie Game Night that came out 2018. I figured out, okay, I can take off from work, I'll take a day here, just personal business this day. And I flew out there and they shot one of the scenes late. So I was thinking, I don't know if I'm going to make it back in time. What kind of excuse I'm going to call and make? But now that I'm retired, that's all out of the window. I enjoy this so much now because I have all the free time. I was telling them the other day when her asked, can we rehearse on? I said, I'm free every day. So I'm thankful for that. And I'm really thankful and I'm enjoying this so much.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for not feeling like I'm picking on you. But
it's okay. My voice is a little raspy, but that's what
it worked for your character. I thought you were like honing something in. But thank you all so much. So that is, I'm going to push it back to you, Mr. Donaldson. That's this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the
Oliver Tree Theater
in Crawfordfield, Florida. And they can go to what website to find out more information and for ticket sales?
It's olivertreetheater.org. That's P as in Paul, A as in Apple, L as in Larry, A as in Apple, V as in Victory, E as in Evergreen, R as in Righteous Tree Theater, and theater is ER.org.
Let them know, sir. Let them know. Well, I'm going to give you guys another hand clap, a round of applause. You're going to have such a wonderful week, and I only see up and better things for this group of cast members as well as for the play. Yes. The cast of Hour of the Wolf. Are you convinced? You need to go. Again, the show times are, we've already passed Thursday. Today, you can go Friday, September the 20th, 8 p.m., Saturday, September 21st, 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. It's only $8, or excuse me, $15. Ooh, don't go there with $8. You'll be embarrassed. $15 to get in, and it's worthy. It's at the Oliver Tree Theater at 59 Shadeville Road, Crawfordfield, Florida. And that's Oliver Tree Theater, which is what the website is, PALAVER Theater with an ER.com. So bring your money or get it online to make sure that it's not sold out by the time you get there. It is so wonderful. So who you do not see in this clip, because by the time I finished the interviews, he was tired. He's like, get it later. And we got it. Not at all. But you guys from Perry, Florida know who he is. He's a weekly columnist with our own Taco Times, a Perry News Herald, as well as featured in a number of things like Gainesville Sun, a lot of regional and national newspapers. He's an award-winning playwright, and he's an author of several books that many people are just sleeping on from our own hometown, but the whole nation has gravitated. He has some film works and television projects in the works. He and I actually worked on a pilot called Closure when I was in Atlanta, where as a defense attorney and minister, I suited up. I coupled up with a prosecutor and a detective to basically help bring closure to people who had family members and loved ones killed or murdered. And it was just an interesting pilot. I still think Closure may become a podcast or something, but we were using both detective skills in trying to figure out what happened to a loved one, and even if they do have an idea of how a person passed away, how do we bring them closure? So I would use both my defense skills, but primarily my ministerial sensibilities to that role. That was all Anthony Lamarr Wright. And so before I bid adieu, I'm going to just put a few pictures up for those of you who may not know what Anthony looks like, because if you see his face, you'll never forget him. He's such a handsome and debonair dude. But Anthony White, congratulations and kudos. I think you have another hit. So let's do a round of applause for our homegrown great native of Perry. Both he and Malcolm Hughes is doing us proud. You hear me? Proud. You guys go catch The Hour of the Wolf is in the Palavera Tree Theater today. And thank you, Cass, for letting me interview you. And thank you for all the hard work you put in to keeping local theater alive. I know it's no small feat. I love you, Hope Moore, and there's nothing you can do about it. Bye-bye.